Right, just before this video begins, I want to apologise for the sheer length of the video. I never realised it went on this long, and it's about 20 minutes when I intended it to be about 10. So, for all you dedicated folk, I hope you enjoy the full video, and if you don't want to watch the full thing, I don't blame you. But enjoy anyway, and I'll take you into the video now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Ryan118. Now, a year ago today, Brendan Rodgers was named the new manager of Celtic and took over the helms from a club that was not really going anywhere. It wasn't going places, and the man in charge was Ronnie Deila. I had a lot of respect for Ronnie Deila, but he was getting a lot of critical opinions thrown at him, a lot of abuse from people, not so much just Celtic fans, but the media in general, saying he wasn't good enough for the job, and ultimately he decided to give up the job. He decided to leave Celtic, which made Celtic had to appoint a new manager, and they wasted so little time, and as soon as the season ended, they went into the market, and who did we got? We got none other than Brendan Rodgers, and what a year it's been. Arguably our best season since 1967. It has been incredible. What a year we've had under Brendan Rodgers, breaking records all the time. We're on the treble. We're a game away from having an invincible season. It has been absolutely marvellous. And, you know, we couldn't have done it without Brendan Rodgers and the players he brought in, but it got me thinking. And it got me wondering, what would it have been like if we were still under Ronnie Deila? What would have happened if Brendan Rodgers never became our manager? Because in all fairness, it was just that loss to Rangers. As Rangers fans would have said at the time, they pumped us 2 each. And then we lost the game in penalties. And it was really that game that people were like, no, can't have this. And Ronnie Deila was getting the critical abuse, I was saying. He was getting a lot of, you know, a lot of people just not on his side anymore. And that's when he decided to give up the job. And they got it that one game. If he never lost that game, I think Ronnie Deila still could have been our manager this season. And it got me thinking what would have happened. So I've took to Football Manager. I've seen a lot of these videos, like projects in Football Manager, and I've took to Football Manager. And today we're going to see what this season would have been like if Ronnie Deila never gave up the job. So if your screen will be up here, Football Manager. We go to the Ladbrokes Premiership. We go to Celtic. There he is. He's back. Ronnie Deila is Celtic manager. There he is. Ronnie Deila. He had a brief spell at Vålerenga, but let's pretend that never happened. And he stayed on at Celtic. This is his stats. If you want to compare them to Brendan Rodgers quickly, then we can, if Brendan Rodgers is still even here. Nope, okay, it seems I've actually removed them from the full database, or database, why did I say database, oh god. The full database, I've removed them. So this is Ronnie Deila, this is him, he's back, he's here at Celtic, and along with that, I have modified the staff accordingly. John Collins is still here as assistant manager. I can't remember what other staff he had, but I've taken out most of Brendan Rodgers' staff, although I believe Glenn Driscoll and who's the other guy I was thinking of again, the head of youth development, where is he? Chris McCart. I believe they may have been brought in from Ronnie Deila as well. Sorry, Brendan Rodgers. Maybe not Chris McCart, definitely Glenn Driscoll. But put it this way, Glenn Davies isn't there, and it's the same two guys at the top there, Deila and Collins. That's all that matters right now. And also to go with this accordingly, if we look at the team, no sign of Scott Sinclair, no sign of Moussa Dembele, no sign of Kolo Toure, none of Brendan Rodgers' signings have been here. Because let's be realistic, if Ronnie Deila was in charge, would we have signed Scott Sinclair? Would we have signed Moussa Dembele? Would we have signed Kolo Toure? No, never in a million years would they have came to Celtic if Brendan Rodgers wasn't in charge. So right here is Ronnie Deila's team, apart from the players who did leave Celtic, and Stefan Johansson, Anthony Stokes, Charlie Mulgrew and such. And yeah, they might have stayed under Ronnie Deila, but I couldn't be bothered going in and finding all those players and putting them back in Celtic. So this is the team. This is it. This is the team that Ronnie Deila has got. If we sort it by value, the best players, we've got Lee Griffiths obviously here. Got Patrick Roberts still on loan. Tom Rogic, Eric Sviatchenko, Armstrong. All these guys. Tierney's still there. We have all these players. But what will Ronnie Deila do? What will we do? We're going to go through it stage at a time. We're going to go to the end of the transfer window and see who he's brought in, see how he's done in European qualification. Then we'll go to January and we'll see where he's sitting in the league, and then we'll go to the end of the season and we'll see generally how Celtic, according to the FM, would have done if Ronnie Deila was still manager of Celtic. Let's see what it would have been like, because let's be honest, no season, no manager, nothing. We could not have imagined a million years the success we've had this season. I wouldn't have. When Brendan Rodgers first came in, I thought, yeah, we're going to win the league, of course, but did not expect this. Did not expect an invincible season, turn it up everywhere. Treble, you know, I did want the treble, but would it have happened? I don't know. We're going to find out. So, as I said, we're going to take this a step at a time to see what happens. So that means we've got to, you know, sim through a little bit first. If we quickly look at the schedule, Ronnie Deila has got Olympija, a Slovenian team. In the first round of the qualifiers, we were handed Lincoln Red Imps in real life, and we lost that first game, of course. So we'll see how that goes. And here is his pre-season friendlies. Inter Milan's there. And the league schedule is exact same league schedule. So we'll see how long it takes Ronny Deila to get his first loss or drop points in the league. So let's sum up to the end of these first round of European qualifiers, and I'll get back to you at that point. Right, okay, Brendan Rodgers. The whole point is to see without Brendan Rodgers. Ronny Deila's had a decent start as Celtic manager, as you can see. Friendlies have been going well, and a 7-0 aggregate win in the first round of the qualifiers. Celtic only won 3-1 in real life in this stage. So, you know, things going well, but it's time to see what he's been doing on the transfer front of things. And after that, we'll sim to the end of the transfer window to get the finalised kind of idea. So, if we go to Celtic a moment, I'm going to sneeze. Transfer history. So, he's made 2 signings, and both on loan, and he got rid of Ryan Christie to Aberdeen, funny enough. Went to Aberdeen in real life on loan, of course, under Brendan Rodgers, so he decided not to keep Christie around, and I deliberately brought back Christie, Yanko and such, to see if Ronny Deila would have implemented them into the team. Santimina and Maxwell Cornet, I've heard of this guy. Cornet, it's not let me look at his stats because I'm not a manager, but he's brought in this guy on loan who didn't play, I believe, and this guy, Santimina, who actually scored, I think, in those qualifiers. If I go to the schedule in a minute, he scored 2 there, and he didn't score in that game, right, and it'll be nail time. So he's only made 2 signings, both on loan, which leads to the idea, is he actually going to sign anybody? But we'll soon find out. Let's sim to the end of the transfer window and see how Celtic have started the season and if he's actually made any permanent transfers. Right then, so it's the 2nd of September, which means the transfer window has just closed. I was just thinking during some of there, I really should have put Mark Warburton back at Rangers, because right now, if I check the Rangers manager, it's not even Pedro Caixinha, it's Mauro Camera, never heard of him. I should have really put Warburton back, the bit more accurate there, but who cares. Anyway, it's time to check how Celtic have been getting on, if they're in the Champions League group stages, who they've got in the Champions League group stages, if so, and the final transfers. Let's see what they've done. So, if we quickly check the schedule, right, well, they did not make the Champions League at first glance. So in the second round of qualifying, they were handed Trenson, who they actually very narrowly beat 5-4. Sorry, no, not even 3-2 in aggregate. 5-4, I can't count. Cal McGregor and Griffiths getting the goals. That was very narrow. Trenson, who are a team from Slovakia, very narrowly getting through there. So they got through. And the league campaign off to a horrible start, where the game we actually beat Hearts in the first game of the season. We lost 1-0. We put Kilmarnock at the cup, but then, if you have a look here, a horrible home loss to Copenhagen. 2-0 we lost, and then we drew with them away from home when they were down to 10 men as well. We won a league match, which is nice to see, against St Johnstone, pumped them 3-0, but then drew with Aberdeen, who are the biggest competition in the league. So, things not off to the best of starts, and they've got an old firm in a moment, which I might actually just stay in sim for, just to see how that goes, and then we'll go to January. But transfers, did they make any other signings? They made one more. They made a permanent signing finally, and a Norwegian player, as you'd expect. Ronny Deila bringing in players like he brought in Johansson, he brought in Sviatchenko, all these kind of Nordic players he brought in. Left back here. Do they need a left back when they've got Kieran Tierney? Birger Melling they brought in, and as for people who loaned out, Calvin Miller, Sean Bowers, Anthony Ralston, and Regan Hendry just going out on loan. They weren't going to get games anyway. But surprising there in the signing they made, and a very poor start. If you have a look, 4 games in, sitting 8th with 4 points. At this point, so 3 games in, Celtic have only played. So it's only 3 games in, not the end of the world. They can still go and win the league. But a very poor start, especially if I lost to Hearts. So, how would they have got on in that Old Firm matchup? Obviously, in real life, we won this match. September 10th it was. September 10th, we went and played Rangers' first league Old Firm match since the game's saving now, for fuck's sake, since 2012, and we went and we beat them 5-1. A fantastic match. There was no competition whatsoever, but would have Ronny Deila done the same? Because obviously we just came off the back of losing an Old Firm under Ronny Deila when we played atrocious football. We played appallingly, we deserved to lose. At the end of the day, Rangers fans would go in and said it was a pumping. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, they still drew the match. They won on penalties, of course, but what would that have led to in the league? Would we have went and got beat off Rangers? Would Rangers had a better start? Who knows? That's what we're about to find out here under Ronny Deila. How would we have done in that first Old Firm matchup of the season? Let's go and find out. If we go to Celtic and have a look, they lost 2-0 at home to Rangers. Barry Mackay and Martin Waghorn scoring the goals, and that is an appalling start to the season. Celtic sitting 10th. Oh, we're going to go to January. will Ronnie Dyler still even be in the job when we go to January? That's the question. Jeez, let's go and find out. Right, winter is upon us. We're here. The question is, how are Celtic doing? Because when we left off, it was not starting well. And it was not looking good for Ronnie Dyler. So, how are they doing? Let's find out. Celtic. Ronnie Dyler is still in the job. They have climbed to second in the league, as we can see right there. Have a look at the league. They've lost 5 times. Brendan Rodgers, by the end of the season here, has lost 0 times. They've drawn 3 times. They've won 13 games. If we go and have a look at the schedule, that looks good. You know, obviously beaten in the first Old Firm at the start of the season. But at Ibrox, they managed to go and beat them 3-0. Tom Roderick, Roberts and Griffiths getting the goals. And forms looked to have picked up a bit. When we last left off, we're here, and then they went on a very healthy winning run. And then hit a very bad patch of form, getting knocked out of the Betfred Cup in the semi-final. Hibs went on to win that. So, obviously, we won the Betfred Cup New Life, beating Rangers on the way there, but they got knocked out off of Dundee United, a second-tier team in the semi-finals. Not good at all, which really did hit them hard as they went on to lose a couple of drop points there. In the Europa League, let's have a look. How did they get on in the Europa League? Group A, they finished second in the group when it could have been first. It was head-to-head rules that made them finish second, as they didn't do too well against Nice. So, Ronnie Dyler, obviously, as Celtic manager, never reached the Champions League, and in his first season Europa League, we got through it the last 32, faced Inter Milan. And the second time around, we didn't get through the group stage, which was quite embarrassing. But they didn't do too bad at all, done very well in the group, in fact, unlucky to finish top. And in the last 32, they drew Southampton, Premier League side, which we'll see how that goes. We've got the Scottish Cup coming up, but form has really picked up. Ronnie Dyler is starting to pull it back a little bit. Aberdeen top by a point, and it's very tight between even the top 4 here. Ian Cathro makes me laugh, really. Top 4 is very tight, and it could be anybody's league title. And now, what does Celtic do through the month of January? We'll go at the end of January, see if Celtic make any signings. Which I doubt they will, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Right, we're back at the end of January. Time to see anything that Celtic have done, the transfer front of things, and a couple of results from the games in January. Obviously, the winter break meant there was only 2 games to be played. They lost 3-1 to Hearts, which means we should have slipped down the table. No, we haven't. Right, oh, no. Hearts actually, yeah, they were like 37 points. Hearts have climbed above Rangers. By the way, in case Rangers fans want to know, there's what they've done in the transfer front of things. A lot of loans. Oh my goodness, look at that. Would you look at that? Look who ended up at Rangers. Look who ended... Well, I should have known that. I should have looked at that at the start. That's a smart signing. Smart piece of business there. I wouldn't have thought of that. Celtic should have thought of that one. Wow. Scott Sinclair ended up at Rangers. I was saying it was unrealistic him going to Celtic, but it's about Rangers. Well, let's pretend that didn't happen. Let's pretend they never done that. Stephen Whittaker returned on loan. Maitland-Niles, they got rid of Clint Hill. And Kenny Miller. Jesus. They got rid of Kenny Miller and Clint Hill before the season even ended, which is quite surprising. But Scott Sinclair. Jesus Christ, away to Rangers. Well, did not expect that one. Let's see, Celtic, did they do anything in the transfer front of things? They did. They made quite a few. Right, so Andre Claro won £2.7 million for this guy from Portugal, a left winger. No surprise considering Sinclair wasn't there. You know, he obviously left. Helland, another Norwegian player, a right winger this time. So once again, surprising considering we have Patrick Roberts. Did not think they would go for a player like that, but they brought him in. Another couple of permanent signings. Norwegian, that's the same guy, we've already seen him. Pettersson, another Norwegian player, a young goalkeeper, probably won't be in the starting lineup, I guess that's just for the future. Tuanzebe, the Man United centre back on loan, that's a very good sign and a very good piece of business from Ronnie Dyler. I'll give him that one, that's quite good. And then the same too, on the outside of things, Kieran Tierney ended up leaving for £12 million. Well, £12 million away to Liverpool in January. And Chris Commons was released, surprising considering Ronnie Dyler did play Commons quite a little bit. But Tierney is gone from Celtic, so that's why I guess they brought in this Mealing guy there. So that's the transfer kind of things over and done with. And now from here, there's only one thing left to do. They're not going to win the League Cup as they've done in New Life, we know that. Will they win the league though? Will they go and win the league title? We need to go, hold on, let's go and check. Just as it stands, we'll have a look. Aberdeen are 4 points clear. Celtic have lost 6 times by January. Not great at all. So we're going to go at the end of the season now and see how things wrapped up with these signings and such. Can Ronnie Deila pull the season back, get it together, or will he lose his job? Let's find out. Well, as you can probably see already straight away, they done it. Celtic did win the league. They won the league title 6 in a row for Celtic. If I have a look at how the league standings finished, very, very, very narrow. It was literally a draw that done Aberdeen out it. And if you look, they drew with Celtic 3 times. If Aberdeen even beat us one of those 3, they would have won the league. So it was a very close league campaign. Rangers fell away, finished 4th. Not a successful season at all for them. Kind of resembling their season in real life this year. But Aberdeen came very close, and Ronnie Deila did get away with it. He kept the job in the end. He got away with it though. He got away with it big time. He just narrowly won the league, and it could have went oh shit. So I've done the wrong thing there. I want to get to the Ladbrokes Premiership quickly again. Yep, I went off that by accident. So if I have a look at the tables how it finished, quite close to real life, because Partick finished the top half. It got 5 out of 6 teams right. The only teams that got wrong there was St Johnstone and Motherwell having a far worse season. And the bottom half was quite accurate. Kilmarnock going straight down though. Inverness finishing just a bit higher than Hamilton in that 11th spot. Griffiths looked as though he had a strong season. We'll have a look at the player stats in a moment. I want to go to Celtic's schedule though. Did they get to the Scottish Cup fight? No, they didn't. Where's the Scottish Cup? Where is it? They got knocked out in the first round, that replay match at home to Hibernian. So not even a double that season. Ronnie Deila once again only winning 1 trophy and didn't make it past the first round that Celtic were in that 4th round against Hibs in the replay, losing at home and everything. Shocker there. And they never got past Southampton, narrowly going out, to be fair. But once again, it seems Celtic Park seems to be the place where they're fucking up the most. It really does, and that's quite weird. They went on to draw with Rangers there. They beat Rangers in the last game of the season to secure the league title, which would have been a party, I suppose. But a very weird season indeed. We won the league, which I guess is the main thing that matters. 6 in a row. It's not came up there yet. But a very weird season. If we quickly go and look, the people that made the most appearances, Lee Griffiths, Owen O'Connell was a regular. Might have been a source of a problem there. Aidan, oh god, no wonder. Aidan McElduff was the starting left back. Someone who, it's fine. They did not make appearances. They were on loan out to other teams making those many appearances. Right, okay, right. If you take away them, Santamina was a regular starter. Lindsay, Rodgers. Top scorer for Celtic was Griffiths. He really had the best season for Celtic. The most assists was Patrick Roberts, who actually had a very good season if you look at stats wise, but not a sparkling season for Celtic at all, winning 1 trophy out of 3, only getting to the Europa League and not the Champions League. And would this have resembled what would have happened in real life? Because at the end of the day, I think we would have won the league again. You can never tell though, because Ronnie Deila could have had a honker of a season if he stayed on. But we won the league. But obviously this is not an accurate representation. This is Football Manager, far from what could have happened in real life. Ronnie Deila could have had it either way. Could have been sitting 3rd all season. He could have been doing what Brendan Rodgers has done in real life. Who knows? But that's how it went for Celtic. And not the most impressive of seasons, I suppose, just if you compare it to what happened in real life. But they had a good bit of form towards the end of the season. They only lost once in quite a while, actually. Their last loss was in February, and then they didn't lose until April, right before the split. So, I mean, a decent season, but losing 8 times is a lot. That is a lot of losses in 7. They only won 23-38, so quite a hog of a season, only winning 1 trophy. That's that, I suppose. I just wanted to see what this season would have been like without Brendan Rodgers, considering this is the year anniversary of his signing the man up. So, let me know what you thought of this. If you want to see more videos like it, let me know if you've got any ideas of what you'd like to have seen. How did Scott Sinclair get on? How did he do it? How did he do at Rangers? I can't get over that he went 37 appearances, 10 goals, 1 assist. Not as instrumental as how he was at Celtic, but still grabbing 10 goals for Rangers. Quite a big part of the team, I suppose. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Quite a couple of shockers there, one being Sinclair. Before we go, I keep going to close off the video and I'm thinking, how did Kolo Touré get on? He went to Lille. Kolo Touré went there. Christian Gamboa, he went to Derby. And Moussa Dembele, that's the question. What did he do? What did he do with himself? Moussa Dembele, he went to Manchester City. So Moussa Dembele, obviously, a big player and very vital to Celtic season. But guys, that's it. I'm going to try and close it off this time for certain. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you all later.